How's it going, man?
Yeah, really, really good.
Could you please, introduce yourself real quick?
So my name is Martin Hickey. I run a CrossFit gym in Athlone. We just recently bought our own facility of 4,200 square foot. And part of the Max Out Your Gym program for 2.5 years, just over, I think. So yeah.
Awesome. You've been a Max Out Your Gym student for 2.5 years. What have been the results that you got so far?
I think to start, it's probably just really kind of like really good to go back to where we were at the very beginning of our relationship.
Yeah.
We were, I think, 4 years in business, and we had been doing some advertising on Facebook and all that kind of stuff. Nothing like what we're doing now, but the advertising that we were doing had just completely stopped working, and I knew something needed to change. And just around that exact time, you contacted me, and you ran our very first advert. We ran the first advert together, and within 24 hours, I think we had over 100 leads, and it was ballistic. The night we started, we kicked the ad off late. I think we started at like 11 or 12 o'clock. When we woke up the next morning, we had like 60 leads, and people were ringing me at 4 o'clock in the morning looking to book in. Like it was insane. And by 4 o'clock the next day, we had to turn off the advert. So we knew at that point that this was probably the way forward, and this is what we should be doing. So that was kind of the start.
And so, do you know how many new members you have been able to generate?
So I suppose at the very start, we were probably at 40% of the membership that we're at right now. And then I suppose I probably thought that was busy at the time, and I was kind of happy enough. But I knew we were never going to get to the next level of having a business that could run itself, that I could be doing more of what I enjoy. Obviously, your coaches, they need hours to stay on and all that. So I knew we needed all that stuff and put it in place. We're 5 times that now at the minute. So within the first year, I think we went to double that. And then again, for that, we nearly doubled it again.
So we quadrupled your number of members, and we quadrupled your monthly income?
I know that when we have the adverts on, we take on 5 to 10 new members nearly every single week.
5 to 10 new clients every single week.
Yeah, so that would be like normal for last week, normal for this week. Yeah, and it's just, I suppose it's the confidence knowing that when we turn on the adverts that they will perform like that for us. Which, to go back to where we were at the start, we were turning on adverts, and some of the stuff that I was reading before we had interacted was, spend more to make more. So I remember one ad we put up, and I was like, right, do it for like, I don't know, 200 euros or 300 euros for the week, and we'll test it. And I literally didn't get one person in for that money. So now having the ad spend, I think our ad spend is on average 10 euros a day. And I happily pay it. I happily pay the money knowing that we're going to be getting in, 5 to 10 members every week and that. So, yeah.
Yeah. So here we are spending about like a 300 euro a month ad spend, yeah?
If I leave the ads on for the entire month, but depending on how busy I am, because this happens, I'll turn the ads off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just off because I'm too busy.
So just to recap, basically, in the last 2.5 years, now you have a system where you pay 300 euro maximum because you spend 10 euro a day, but sometimes you stop it because you have too many new clients, too many appointments, too many leads to handle. So actually, it's probably less. Let's say 200, 250, right? A month that you're spending, and with that, you get 10 new clients a week. That's plus 40 clients a month.
Yeah, pretty much. So once I usually leave the ad on for about a month, and then I want to systematize the members so I'm retaining them rather than just letting them in one door and out the other. Now at the start, I just left it on, and then we started putting better systems in place. And then what I do is I turn the ad on for a month, then we try and onboard all the people that we've taken on, and then we put the ads back on and rinse and repeat to grow the gym.
Yeah, great, awesome. So you have been one of my first clients, actually. Can we say that the Max Out Your Gym system is sustainable, or is it a quick fix magic pill?
Yeah, no, I definitely say it's the exact opposite. That's the part I wanted to explain to other people, that it is long-term, it is sustainable, and that's the way we use it. It's not one of them things where we're just giving out free stuff all the time, and then people are coming in one day and not staying on. Like, I have a really, really, really high schedule rate to sign up. I think mine is about 90%, Sometimes people come in and maybe they just didn't fully understand or whatever. And look, that just happens when you're dealing with the public. But when people come in here, why sign up 90% of the time? Because the system allows me to do that. And we're giving the right offers to the right people,
Yeah. So you were saying at the beginning that now you bought your own facility, right?
Yeah,
You've been able to buy your own CrossFit box. That's awesome, right? Also, you've been able to hire, right? Did you get
yeah.
your time back?
Yeah, so like at the minute, we've really good coaches here, and I'm lucky to have them. Like I'm lucky that the coaches want to take all the classes. But I enjoy teaching sessions. We teach no, like we've a lot of CrossFit classes here. We teach jiu-jitsu, we teach kickboxing, we have kids classes. But my coaches want to take all the classes, so that's amazing. And because of obviously the extra membership that we have, I have the ability to do that now. You know, so it's great.
Yeah. So it means that you're still working, but because you love coaching and because you love hanging out with your members, but it's not like you have to, because actually now you have the money to hire people to run the gym, right? Could you like work 5, 10 hours a week remotely, let's say from Bali?
I think with the right systems in place, we could definitely do a little bit more traveling and stuff like that. You know, but
Yeah.
my fiance still, she's working in a marketing company, so we're kind of stuck where we are at the minute. But
Yeah.
we are in the process at the minute of trying to buy a house, so that's kind of like our next project. So.
But yeah, it's because it's not like a priority for you right now to go travel and spend less, but actually you would have the income and the team to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think once we have systems in place, everything is possible because
Yeah.
you know, as you were saying, the coaches want to take all the classes here. We've great coaches, so I'm lucky on that perspective.
Great. Awesome. So you've been able to hire a team. You have been able to buy your own facility. And now that you took care of the business, now you're taking care of yourself and now you're buying your own house, right?
Yeah, well, that's the plan anyway. So I have to see how it all plays out. Just like everything, you can kind of run away with you. But yeah, it's an exciting time as well. Yeah, knowing that we have our business sorted, because most people would have done it the other way around. They would have bought their own house first. But I knew if I didn't have my business sorted, like how would I have an income? So the house part wouldn't have been possible. And I suppose like we would have never been able to do that. It wasn't some buying the facility and all that. When I started the gym, it was always a dream of mine to own my own facility, you know, because you're not answerable to anybody. You've no one coming in next month saying, this is what your rent is going to be, or, you know, having hassle with you about anything. Like, we own this place now. This is what I'm doing for the rest of my life. And I love it. And as you were saying earlier, I take the classes because I love taking the classes. Like, we've great coaches, so I don't have to take all the classes. But it's great that I can get out there and do what I love. And I'm buzzing to be able to do that for the rest of my life. I'm lucky like that. But
Great.
when we were at the start, you know, when me and you started working together, I would have never thought that I would have got there in the end, because everything had kind of dried up. And like everything else, like there's so many gyms around that the marketing aspect just separates from them. And I meet people all the time, and they're like, "Oh, your place is doing great." I am lucky. We are busy, and I am doing great. But like that's how we separate from it. People wouldn't know that only to see all our content going up, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So hiring a team, buying your own facility, and soon buying your own house. Do you think you could have done it without a system, without the Max Arthur Gym program?
I don't think so. No, because we had been trying. I think we knew for 2 years that something wasn't right. That things had started to. For the first 2 years, we were really busy. Not as busy as we are now, because we didn't have as many classes. But we were pretty busy, but things started to dry out. And I knew by the time between year 2 and 4, I was like, something has to change. And if it doesn't, and I was willing to invest time and money that we needed in ourselves, because I knew that if we didn't, we'd be the next to go. Like restaurants are the first business for closing down, and gyms are the second, because there's so many of us, you know.
Yeah. Now that we spoke about your business results and also your life transformation that you experienced in the last 2 years and a half, let's, like some other gym owners are going to watch this live or, the recorded video. Let's try to provide some value. What was your experience, that you had with Max Arthur Gym? What are the mindset breakthroughs that you got? What were the main things that you learned? What tips do you have for other gym owners?
So I suppose I'll start at the start, and that was how skeptical we were. We were like, I knew something had to change, and I was willing to roll the dice. But when we were talking to the rest of our team, they were kind of like, "Oh, there's so many people out there," and I had dealt with people before who had kind of conned us into stuff. We'll say I had probably a couple of thousand conned off in different courses where people were like, "Oh, this is going to happen, and you'll be able to do this, this, and this," and it just didn't work out, you know. So we were skeptical, but I knew it was worth the risk. I knew that if we didn't do it, we'd be left behind, and that we wouldn't be a market leader that we had wanted to be, and that we had established ourselves on at the start. So that's the first part. I think being open-minded, because I would have never got on camera myself and talked before that. And I think everyone's really uncomfortable about that. But I separated myself from really caring. Like, I wanted to I was more important to me to be successful than it was what people think, you know, because no matter what you do, people are probably going to have an opinion on you anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I suppose that's the two main ones. With the course itself, I think just follow the program. You know, it's tried and tested. Everybody wants to put their own spin on things, or maybe like CrossFit at the start, all the gyms are convinced we should be doing fundamentals courses and all this thing. So when you switch to something like a 6-week challenge, it's a little bit more businessy than I think regular CrossFit would expect it. But at the end of the day, gyms will only work when they have members. So if you want members, that's the way to get them. And bring them in like that. Because of how busy we were at the start, we had to figure out systems in place. So we, early on, I don't know, like about 2 years ago, we switched our process to turn in the class into 3 different things. So it was like we have an RX, an intermediate, and a scaled, and we take members into all 3. And I found that was the best. In our first 2 years, we sold out fundamentals course over and over again. But at the end, we didn't get a great stay-on rate. But this way here, when we're bringing them directly into the population and getting them involved in the culture, that was a game changer for us, you know. The other thing is just, I suppose, correct onboarding and retention stuff as well, you know. So it's a full picture of having it all there, rather than just thinking, like, you know, one part is going to save the business. You need to have it all done.
You can become a CrossFit gym owner pretty easily, right? You take a loan, maybe 30, 40, 50K. You buy some equipment. You rent a facility, you put your equipment in the facility, you do your CrossFit level 1. That's it. You're a CrossFit gym owner, and you pay the $2,000 or the $3,000 CrossFit affiliation. That's it. You're a CrossFit gym owner. But do you know how to run a business?
No, definitely not.
Really, right? So that's what the Max Outdoor Gym program is, right? We teach you all the business skills that you need to have, all the mindset skills, all the communication skills, all the marketing and sales skills, right? We just teach you the business skills, right? All those entrepreneur skills that nobody else is teaching really on the market, right?
Yeah, and a lot of it does come down to mindset. Like, a lot of people, they want to get involved in something and they have an idea of, like, this is how I need to do this, and they want to do it the exact way they want. But unfortunately, the exact way they want might not be them. Like, it might be a way that that suits them at that time, but it might not be the most successful way. You know, when you're an entrepreneur, you have to be very flexible about your approach. Like, it's okay to have the goal, but it's just like the ways to get there are not always as linear as you want them to be. And so many times when you're trying to do something, it's very hard to just say, this is the direct route, that's the only way I'm going to go. I don't actually know any time in anything I've ever done or accomplished that happened that way. It's like, this is the plan, that's the way I'm going to do it. So you need to be very flexible in your approach. And what I like about the Max Out is that it's tried and tested. And for me now at this point, I know when I put up the ads, I know the results that I'm going to get, you know, and I know that if I'm not getting the results, that using the methods on the course to tweak the ads around, that's it. We just go back to them and all kind of runs better then.
You were speaking about mindset. What was your main mindset upgrade that you had?
I suppose, like, I always would have thought I was open-minded, but then when it was coming on the camera thing, I'll go back to that. I was like getting on camera myself, that people would need to see me or whatever. I suppose that was it. I was like, I'm really open-minded, I'll try anything. And then I was like, right, you're going to have to get on the camera. I was like, no. And then I was like, right, I better do this. So I was kind of like, and when the first ad kind of got so busy, I was lucky that it was an immediate gratification of getting on camera, you know, that kind of way. So it was like, it wasn't one of them ones where like, oh, keep doing it, it'll get better. We literally put up the first ad, and in 72 hours, we had over 100 leads, and I asked her to turn the advert off because it was too busy. So
yeah.
Because if there were questions about whether it was going to work or not, it was answered in 72 hours. You're like, all right, this is it, like, you know. And for me at that point, it was a secret weapon. And I have friends who are gym owners and all that, and I've told them all about you. I think we've referred some over and everything, and it was just like, people were like, what's the difference? It's just like, it's literally just magic, like, you know.
Yeah, because we just magnify what's really happening at your gym right now, and we just show it with your community. If you have a good gym, magnifying the fact that you have an amazing gym is easy. Then of course the marketing works. It's also because you have a great gym that your marketing works so well. you would have a shitty gym, the system would not work, and I would have not invite you in the program, right? But because I knew you had a great gym already, let's just amplify that with powerful marketing strategies.
I think the culture in a facility is a big thing, you know, and that's something that you have to know, that every gym owner knows themselves what their culture is like in their facility, and they know that if they're bringing, I know if people come in here, we had a girl come in recently and she was like, oh, I've been to loads of other places, but I know that as soon as she come in, I didn't even have to ask the members. I don't have to do that. And they're all over saying, oh, it's your first day, you know, good luck, go over there. And then they come back over and say, how are you getting on? And I can't remember, she was lifting something and she wouldn't have been used to lifting weights. And she was like, I don't know if I'm able for this. And they were like, don't worry, you can do it. And then same thing, the next time she came in, they were asking her again, you know, and she had said, she didn't even tell me because, you know, people are funny and communicate. And she was talking to someone else and she said it to that person. And just hearing that back made me proud, you know, that kind of way. So, and these are the kind of stories that we want to get out there, I suppose, as well. So.
And so it's so sustainable because we keep sharing the stories of your clients, and you're getting 40 new clients a month with the system. So we just keep sharing the stories of your new clients and your previous clients, and then that's it. And then that's how we create trust, because we share so many stories, right, to your community.
Yeah, that was something kind of last year when we started switching to the member stories online. It kind of started to attract, because it's not like we're just literally just getting out the word of what's going on there. You know, it's less advertising. I feel like adverts when members are telling stories, and I love that part. You know, and that's the magic of what we're doing. It's great, and I'm sure that every gym has so many great stories that that's not being told yet.
Exactly, yeah. And so you were saying that you didn't like at the beginning recording yourself in front of a camera. The Max Out Your Gym system is more of a personal growth program where we push you out of your comfort zone and where we ask you to push through your fears. If you're afraid of recording videos, well, we'll do it anyway and we'll help you push through it. If you're afraid of charging what you're really worth, some people are afraid of that, we're gonna do it anyway by guiding you through the process, and we'll still do it anyway, right? It's more of a personal growth program where we actually work more on your fears than a magical Facebook algorithm, right? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, no, yeah, there's a lot more to it than just the marketing. There's a lot of great content in there. And the group as well, the private group with the other gym owners. I get loads of great content out of that, whether it's to do with the way we're attracting clients online with the ad copies and just the interaction we're having with each other, you know, the weekly live feed where we have talk about different subjects. You know, I knock great content out of it all. You know, there's so many good things about it that's not just going over the advert, you know, and that's what I love about it.
Yeah, because we also teach you how to sell. We also teach you the mindset. We also teach you how to communicate. We also teach you how to schedule your leads, how to make them show up, how to keep them, right? It's the whole thing, right? Do you agree? It's the whole thing?
Yeah, I do, definitely, 100%. Yeah, I think that like all the stuff that's been over the systems, specifically with the ones you mentioned there, with the retention, the show-ups, like there's so many things that at the start, when something happened, we were like, oh, you know, maybe we had a lot booked on and then so many didn't turn up, and then it was like, right, well, here's the fix for that. Okay, blah, blah, you go to the next part, and it was like the sales part, and then it's like, well, here's a tried and tested program for signing up things for not salespeople. I'm lucky, sales is my thing. I worked in sales before, but I know that when you're trying to train people not in sales, they can feel a bit awkward about it. And I liked it. I had a look. I remember you sent me the video, the training video, and I really liked that. And then you go to the next part. It's just all the different ways that maybe that we're going to run into problems with clients, and here's how to fix them. It's nothing like FAQs, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we have the blueprints on how to run your gym, right? Even the programming part, actually, right?
Yeah.
Do you agree that you had the system for 2.5 years? Now you actually have the system for life, right? For the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 30 years to come. You have the system, right?
Yeah, since it's been in 2.5 years and everything is still working as well, that part's pretty amazing. Because I know that usually you have something that works for a very small amount of time or whatever. But I think that might be like I don't want to use foul language, but a shitty offer or something like that, where you're literally just kind of fooling the client, the people you're attracting into something. But if you're giving them real stories about real results, it's something completely different to that, you know. So like we just say, like I remember a year or two ago, it was like all these free challenges and free this and free that. And I'm not saying that that's not okay sometimes to use, but it can't be the backbone of what you're getting up to, which is like getting people in for free stuff and then trying to tell them when to come in. So I mean, like the system that we have is about giving value and getting value, I think, and that's why I love it. You know,
Yeah.
I know that people come into my facility that I have their best interests at heart, so I just have to get them into the door to tell them that story. That people need to, when people come here, I honestly, every single one of them, I want them to get results. Also.
Yeah. Do we do free 2 weeks, 3 weeks, free class, free challenge? Do we do free stuff like this? What do we promote actually? We promote a free consultation, right? And that's it.
Yeah. Well, I suppose it is a free consultation, but from then on, everything is covered because people have to invest in themselves. And if you don't invest in something, you're not going to value it. And I think that's a big part. And once you kind of give them that story, they realize that too. So it's not like just free this, that, free everything. And I think that's where a lot of the cons are coming out. And maybe that's where or why people would have a miss kind of judgment about any program. They just see one of these style of programs and then they think, oh, everyone must be doing that same thing. But it's not true, you know?
Yeah. The only thing we promote is a consultation, right? So sure, that consultation is free, but then there is no discount. There is nothing else that we do for free. We just sit down with them, we have a talk with them, and that's it. And then it's either they join the program or not. You are saying that you were afraid of recording videos, that we help you push through that fear. It's kind of like it's a Toastmaster. Do you know Toastmaster, right? Toastmaster is a program on how to communicate, you know, and to do on how to do public speaking. It's kind of like a Toastmaster program for gym owners that we have, right?
Yeah. It's funny because I remember when I was recording the videos at the start, I was so cringing about it. And then I ran into someone we were talking about, and they were saying something about promoting their business. And I was like, just get on camera, man. Like, that's all you can do. Get on camera, tell people what you have going on. You know, talk about some of the stories you have with your business and that. And they were like, oh yeah, but I'm not good at it like you are. And I was like, what? I was like, if you seen the outtakes, you wouldn't be saying I'm good, because we'd be there for, we could be there for 40 or 50 minutes shooting a 2-minute video where I said the wrong words over and over and over again. But it's funny that someone else has that perception when I'm the exact opposite, thinking that my videos are terrible and cringy. So, but I know I have no problem getting on camera and doing whatever needs to be done, you know, that kind of way. Because at the end of the day, I have my personal goals. I suppose that's part of the mindset. So I have my personal goals. I know where I want to come, and I know what my personal goals are for myself. So if getting on camera is the next thing that takes us to the next level, I'm 100% willing to do it.
So you were speaking about a massive influx of leads, right? But are they shitty leads, or are they leads that actually convert and become clients, members and that stay for a long term?
So we run a 6-week challenge at the minute, and our stay on rate is about 95% on that. So it's not like one of them things, because even before we were with the Max Out Your Gym program, a lot of our adverts.
Martin, just so that we're clear, we're not speaking about the bait and switch free challenge here, right? We're speaking about the paid program. Yeah, okay.
6-week paid challenge, that's the only thing. That's our primary advertisement for CrossFit. Sometimes people will see the ads and just contact us for training, which is also perfect. But what I would like every single person to do would be to join up, do the 6-week challenge, because for me, it's a long-term job interview for both of us. They're seeing are we a good fit for them, and we're seeing are they a good fit for our facility. So during that process, they receive an email a week, and we're kind of talking about nutrition. They get weekly one-to-ones, all that kind of stuff. And our stay on rate is about 95% on that. Yeah, no, long-term clients, I would say, rather than the other part, which is just kind of like coming in and out. So what I think is that when we were doing our other adverts before we joined the Max Out Your Gym, we were having a lot of people come in where they would stay for 4 and 8 weeks. So it's the exact opposite now, you know. And it took, I suppose, having that influx of clients to be able to create the systems that mean that the retention part comes up. So one part led to the other, and not the other way around.
Yeah. So you've been a CrossFit gym owner for 6 years, but you were kind of like struggling before we met. Now it has been 2.5 years. Now you're doing amazing. You just bought your facility. You're about to buy your own house. You're growing your gym with 40 new members per month with like a 250 euro budget. So you're doing amazing now. Do you still get constant education? It has been 2.5 years. Do you still get constant education from Max Out Your Gym?
Yeah, you know what's really great, being even in 2.5 years or whatever, but the live feeds we do every week, the videos, and then the back and forth with the other gym owners as part of the group. Everybody kind of talking about what they're running into and all that. Like, there's really good content coming out of that, where you're like, oh, that might be happening to me, or someone else might have something else that you were thinking about doing, and then you can kind of see what they're at, you know. So it's that itself is another little team that we kind of have, and I suppose it's a super team of all gym owners in the same kind of place. And everybody is kind of like on a similar vibe in there, where which I'm part of other gym owners groups, like talking or whatever. But with the Max Out Your Gym, everybody's there to help each other, and I find that support is really great.
And do you keep paying me? Do you keep paying Max Out Your Gym to get that constant education or not?
No, there's no more fees for me, thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
no.
now you have a system for life. You just paid us one time, and that's it. And now you have the system for life, and you keep getting the constant education, right?
So I'm kind of at the stage now where what I would like to do is go back over all the content, because it's all still there. You know the way, like, I don't know, you get in, you do your driving test, and you have like 10 lessons, and you drive like you're some sort of you're checking your mirrors every 10 seconds, and not that I don't check my mirrors, but you get into all these bad habits to do with driving. So I think that going back and checking back over the content now is a great idea for myself, because it might actually just ignite another idea of the next thing that I want to be doing, or the next thing I should be adding into the process of it all, you know. Yeah. So, and I suppose having it allows me to do all that.
Every week we do a group call. Every week I would maybe extract a part of that group call that I would find very useful, and then add it to the online program to keep it as in the database, right? So actually every week,
it's
the Max Out Your Gym program becomes better and better and better and better, right? I have a competitor right now saying that the kind of results that we are getting, it's a lie. Other marketers lie. I have another competitor saying, oh, those kind of results are too good to be true. It's impossible to get that kind of results. What would you say to those guys, you know, my own competitors? What would you say to those guys that are saying that I am lying, or that the results that you are getting right now are too good to be true?
I don't know what I'd say to them. I suppose I'd say just look after yourselves, you know what I mean? Because we're here doing it. I don't have time to be thinking about my competitors or anything like that, because I'm too busy doing what I'm doing. If they're kind of commenting on what you're doing, I'd say they're not keeping track of what they're doing themselves, you know. So yeah. And a lot of marketing groups want to like rinse repeat the gym rather than do what we're doing, which is creating a community. Do you know that kind of way? Does that kind of make sense? They just want to rinse repeat, want their monthly fees, and then that's it. They'll wash on or whatever. I don't feel like that's what we do, because there's so much good content over and over again. And as you said, the course is a living course. Like, it's constantly getting upgraded week to week, with some of the great stuff that's coming up in the private Max Out Your Gym group. So I don't know why people would. The results are here. Like, I'm not a paid actor, you know. That's all I can say.
What would you tell other gym owners that are afraid of investing in their knowledge, so that they can grow their gym, grow their business, and live the life of their dream? What would you tell them? That they are maybe afraid of, I don't know, the investment of working with me and my team?
I think, you know, it's just, I know where I was at. It was a stage for me. It was kind of like, either I'm gonna, in a year or two, this is gonna be finished, and I won't have the life I wanted to have with my gym, or I can take a step back now, invest in myself, and then move everything forward together. Because I know at the start, even when we seen the advertising budget, we're like, that might sound like a lot of money, but when we were seeing the membership improve every month and the numbers grow, it was like, I knew it was an investment. I knew everything was investment. I was willing to risk my own wage at the time, because I knew that if we could bring this thing forward, that I'd be set in what I wanted to do, you know. And for me, it was all worth the risk. And I can only just speak from my perspective, that I tell anybody that was in a similar situation, if you're wondering where the next client is going to come from, if you're sick of doing stuff that you don't like, you know, take an investment in yourself. You know, it'll be the best money you ever spent to find out, you know, if you can take your gym to the next level. And the good thing about the program is that if you're unsure about other parts, as people start to come in and you're tracking certain stats, like what's going on whether it's a certain type of class, you'll be able to improve your attention, and everything else will just tie in with that as well, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like, you've been using the Max Out Your Gym system for now 2 years and a half. We didn't use gimmicky marketing. We didn't use free bait and switch stuff. And so it's like you're missing a lot of money if you don't do it. Actually, not doing it is a much bigger risk than doing it, because each and every month, if you don't have the Max Out Your Gym system, or at least a system, it's like you're paying the university of I don't know what you do, and that's a fee that you pay each and every month. If you work with us, it's a fee that you pay one time and then you have it for life, right?
I think the great thing is that if you're thinking about doing it, you should do it straight away, because at the end of the day, when we started, we were the first person in our area to use this type of marketing. Within 6 months' time, or maybe people kind of copped on what was going on, and then they started to do it. But when you're first, you'll always be the first, you know, that kind of way. So people will probably look at other ads and be like, oh, that's what they were doing. They're copying the other place down the road. So, like, it's good to be the first person in your area, because now you're the market leader, you know, and the longer you wait, the harder it'll be to catch up. Yeah.
Even though your competitors were like seeing your ads, were understanding what was going on, trying to copy what you were doing, were they able to do like as good as you? Because actually they didn't work with Max Out Your Gym, I don't believe. The ones around directly around your gym, I don't think they became clients.
I think I think they were kind of trying to copy it, but missing a lot of the key points. Like when I see somebody using something similar and it's not just in my area now, because I have kind of a little bit of fascination about it. I love looking at other people's ads as well, and I see them sharing it. And I know that people are missing a lot of the key points of what they're getting, you know, that kind of way. Whether it's the advert part, the video, what they're saying. And then sometimes I even look at their funnel and I'm like, you know, they've no social proof in there. They've nothing. The whole purpose of the funnel is to start squeezing them through, but then they're just giving them more information rather than letting people tell the stories, if you know what I mean. So when I look at it, I know parts that are incomplete. And I suppose I wouldn't have known that without the course, you know. So
yeah. So even if they try to copy you, to copy the marketing part, it's not going to be as good, because they are not going to get my feedback and my team's feedback.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah.
But also, sure, it's easy to copy the marketing part, right?
Yeah.
But they are not going to get the mindset coaching. They are not going to get the coaching on how to schedule leads, on how to make them show up, on how to enroll them, on how to make them stay. They are not going to have the whole thing, right? They're just going to have like 5% of the program. And actually, even on those 5%, they are not going to do it as well, because they are not going to get the feedback that the Max Out Your Gym team provides, right?
Exactly. And I think one thing that I've seen, because I talk to a lot of gym owners, that every gym owner thinks they're really good at sales as well. And that's worse coming from me, because I think sales is actually my thing. As much as gymming is and being a gym owner, I'm actually, because I used to work in sales, but I know that every gym owner thinks that they need better marketing, but they're probably that they have the sales thing down. And I don't think it's true. I think they need the whole process, and they need somebody to look at it from an unobjective thing and say, oh no, this is where that's broken. And I feel like that's what the course will give, you know. I know that probably sounds a bit like I'm saying one thing that I'm actually saying about myself, but I know my sales numbers are good. So, but I see people saying, if I just had better marketing, or we were able to get people in the door, and then they're not as good at the sales part as they think, you know. So exactly. I suppose that's with the course as well. So
exactly. Any other insights, you know, tips you like to share, or any other, you know, insights from the experience you got with Max Out Your Gym, Martin?
I think just staying open-minded, and if you're willing to work hard, the system will work. You know, that's the biggest thing. Work hard and the system will work for you. It's as simple. And at the start, when I started doing this process, I can tell you, I worked super hard, and that's why it was successful for me. A lot, you know, we hadn't the course fully in development at that point. So I was doing a lot of the jobs myself, and I didn't have people to do other jobs, and I wasn't able to pay coaches. So I was just doing it all myself. But I knew that if I put in the work at that point, that it would happen, you know. So I think if people just work hard, the system will work for them.
Yeah, you know, I always said that actually, you know, the Max Out Your Gym system program is intense. It's an intense program. It's a 3 months program, 12 weeks. It's intense. You will have to work your ass off for 3 months, right? Because you will need to speak with me. You will need to speak with Karen, with Lauren, with Mark, with Darlene. You know, we have several coaches. Also, you need to go through the online program. Also, you need to show up. Oops, you need to show up to the group coaching calls. It's intense, right? For 12 weeks. But then it's freedom forever. It's freedom for the next year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20, 30 years to come. So it's 3 months of hustle and then freedom forever. Also, you need to work your ass off for 3 months, but it's not for everybody either, right? You need to be coachable. You need to be committed. You need to be resourceful, and you need to have a good gym. You need to provide results to your clients. You need to provide fun to your clients. You need to care for your clients, right? So it's not too good to be true. It's not a magic pill. It's just that the Max Arthur Gym system is a freaking intense program, right? With several consultants helping you push through your fears. It's not too good to be true. It's hard work. You will need to push through your doubts, your fears. It's just that, like it's not too good to be true. It's just an intense program to change your business, change your life.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I think like everything you said there is true. And, we stay open-minded because people will often think of the reasons why they shouldn't do something. Everyone wants to be successful in the gym industry and all that. But then it's like, they think of the reasons why it won't work for them when it's the opposite. Like, look at everybody in the group and getting results together and bouncing ideas around off each other to bring their businesses all to the next level.
And why is everybody getting great results within the Max Arthur Gym, Max Arthur Gym family? It's because, I filter out the best gym owners. You need to have a good gym. You need to be coachable, decisive, committed, resourceful, right? You need to have what it takes. That's why we have too good to be true results, right? It's because, I work with the best gym owners that are really here to crush it and to go live the life of their dreams.
Right? 100%.
All right, guys. So if that sounds like you, it's not for everybody, but if it does sound like you, go to maxarthurgym.com/call, CALL, maxarthurgym.com/call, CALL. And then, you can schedule a call with me, right? And we'll chat. We'll see, what's not working with your business. See if I can help or not. See if you are really committed, decisive, coachable, resourceful. See really if you do have a good gym or not. If it's the case, then I'll invite you to join the Max Arthur Gym family. If it's not a fit, I'll just let you know as well. Thank you so much, Martin, for your insights, for sharing your experience and your tips. And keep crushing it. So proud of you. Bye-bye.